It is time for a corner chat. Let's talk business with Mr. Daniel Steinman and myself, Elsa Bitimnyani, as your hostess. A warm welcome to all our listeners and a warm welcome to Mr. Daniel Steinman himself. Today we are talking about something that we usually talk around the festive season, but today we're talking about retail this time of the year, because retail actually does play an important role in our day-to-day lives as well. We get up, we get to the shops, we do grocery shopping, we buy things that we need at home, but we also need to understand what retail really is and the significant role it plays in our day-to-day lives, but also in the economy. So, Mr. Daniel Steinman, what do you say about retail?
Yeah, Elsa B. Hello.
Hello.
And a good day to all the listeners as well. Mm-hmm. Retail is a very, very important sector. It's not really a sector or a category or function of the economy.
Yeah.
So in economics, we tend to sort of define retail in a narrow sense, because eventually retail is just buying. Everything, any purchase is supposed to go under retail. If you think of the normal sense of the concept retail, but not in economics. In economics, it has to be defined a little bit more closely, more clearly, because if you put everything that you buy into the retail basket, it becomes like spaghetti. It's half-cooked spaghetti. It's unmanageable, So, for instance, retail is mostly what you buy on the existential level, meaning your groceries, what you need to live. But this includes light hardware and your typical hardware store, your typical supermarket, your typical gift store, appliance store. So this is what you need on a daily basis. You have to go to the supermarket every week.
Yeah.
Unless you like my wife, and you go only once a month, and you actually scare the lady at the till with the 3 trolleys full of groceries. But it is still retail. So that's all retail, fast-moving goods, FMG. It's called in economics, and it's what you would typically understand as what I have to buy on a day-to-day basis. If you go up the scale a little bit, you come to appliances. In economics, we call it whites. And I give you a guess, why do we call appliances whites? Because 50 years ago, all appliances were white.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Does make sense.
Everything, the fridge, the stove.
Everything was white,
Even before microwaves, everything was white.
White, yeah.
So today, even still in the trade, it's known as whites. But it's appliances. But now you're looking at stuff from around $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 to about $15,000. With groceries, it can be anything from 5 cents to one little individually wrapped sweetie to 50 cents to $5 to $50 to $5,000. This is all. You see, there's a spectrum.
Yes.
And it escalates in value. But, and this is why I'm making this point, if you go to a jewelry and you buy a $50,000 engagement ring, it's still retail. But it's a tiny, tiny, tiny little thing, You can put it in your pocket. You can accidentally swallow it.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of have a feeling for size versus value versus utility, because you have to buy milk every second or every third day.
Yes.
But hopefully you buy an engagement ring only once in your life.
Hopefully.
Do you see that difference?
Yeah.
But they're still both classified under retail.
Yeah.
Although jewelry is a subdivision of retail. But with appliances, they also measured separately, but they're still part of retail. But now you go a little bit further up the scale, and you get to cars, trucks, buses.
Yeah.
Now you start looking at stuff from $150,000 to $1 million. Also technically still retail, but from a definition point of view, excluded. They are automotive.
Yeah.
And if you look at the statistics, you will also always find the automotive statistics under transport. You see, so, and this is not just academic, for clever old oomies to sit and split hairs over what's included and what is not included, because technically speaking, some type of jewelry can be more expensive than some types of cars.
Yeah.
But they're not in the same basket, So it's very important to make that distinction so that we know when we talk about retail what we're talking about. But to keep it simple, let's say it's mostly the existential stuff, the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
As you gather from my explanation, it is not only the day-to-day stuff, but it makes it easy to understand if you look at it that way. And let's quickly go for a short break, and then when we come back, then I talk about why retail is so important as a gauge for the rest of the economy.
Okay, let's do that. We'll be back after the short break.